I spoke about this some time ago. In 2017, the number of women in the workforce were 17%, I think, and now it's reached to 33%. So that tells you a lot, just in 5 years. So the sky is the limit, and women are there to do so many things. And I say this, it's not just about women, but we complement each other. So whoever can do it, it doesn't matter if he's a man or a woman.
I think we can bring in our virtual panelist now, Captain Koshi. He's the CEO of Saudi. I think we should be able to see him on the screen. Hello!
Hello.
Welcome, thank you so much for joining us. Well, it's a big day for Saudi Arabia. People are going to be able to come to the kingdom, to leave the kingdom on vacation, to get back in the skies. What's your travel outlook looking like at this point?
Well, you know, like many people were excited about the May 17th opening up for the international travel. Before talking about that, I'd like to kind of mirror what some of my colleagues over there are saying. Domestic travel has been quite strong in Saudi Arabia in 2020 and for this first quarter of 21. We've had our 28 domestic stations. We've been operating close to 80% of our 2019 levels. And the number of passengers, let me say the demand is exceeding capacity at times. We have a strong domestic market. And right now, opening up on May 17th for the international, it's something that we'll begin to see the numbers pick up even further. So it is something very exciting for many of the people, you know, even a little bit of leisure travel, not just business and essential travel, but now we're beginning to see the leisure travel picking up as well, to and from the kingdom as well.
In terms of a return to profit, what's your outlook for Saudi? I was just speaking with His Highness Sheikh Ahmed about Emirates and how quickly that cash flow is going to need to be supplemented. He seemed to have a positive outlook for the rest of the year. Where do you think this is headed?
You know, for Saudi Arabia, there's a lot of things that are taking place which actually will accelerate this for us. And so, you know, we look at our strategy from 21 to 24. I mean, IATA is looking at a 24 recovery for the market. We see that 21 to 24 coming out much leaner and stronger. But there's a lot of things which will actually accelerate the profitability status for Saudi Arabian Airlines. So we're looking at, you know, 100 million tourists by 2030, the 330 million airport users, the 30 million Umrah visitors annually, 5 million Hajj visitors. The potential market is growing at very fast rates for the kingdom. So there's many opportunities, and depending on how fast we go post-pandemic, we really see profitability definitely at 24 and hopefully even earlier before that. So I think one of the things is don't be too surprised if you see aircraft orders just to meet some of that demand and capacity this year in 21. So there's a lot of growth and a lot of capacity requirements which we are going to have to factor in here.
How do you split that in terms of domestic and international demand?
Well, the international and domestic demand, let me say that the 28 domestic stations that we do have, we have a very good projection of what that's going to look like. From a 50%, you know, 50% of our operations are domestic. Now, the growth potential on the international is quite strong. Like when we're talking about Saudi Arabia has finally a major international airport in the city of Jeddah, which we can actually operate as a true regional hub. And this is something we did not have before. So this is our new home. It's a growth for connectivity to and from the kingdom. And that airport is here now. And I was kind of smiling when I heard your comment at the opening about, you know, we were just about to open up, and then this 18-month pandemic, you know, kind of delayed everything. But we're here now, and we're actually able to open up the Jeddah International Airport as a true hub with good connectivity, and it's something that we expect really good O&D traffic, you know, from the King Abdulaziz International Airport in Jeddah.
So right before we started, Fahad and I were discussing the prospects for the Saudi tourism industry, and he said, well, what do you think? And I spent the last 10 years plus back and forth to Saudi Arabia. I've seen so many changes over the last couple of years. I was one of the first international journalists to go to Al Ula, for example, and discover the Nabatean ruins and to really discover different parts of Saudi Arabia. I've been to Taif for the Rose Festival. I've been places that now seem much more open and easily accessible, but at the time were not necessarily they were off the beaten path, if you will. Fahad, give us the sell. What is it that Saudi Arabia has to offer that is totally different from anywhere else?
I think you're due, by the way, for a trip, and there's a lot of.
I'm due for many trips.
No, and to be honest, I keep getting a question from this exhibition: what is next coming for Saudi? And I realize that I think we will always have an answer in a pipeline for the coming 10 years. So, well, the aim is for Saudi to realize its ambition of attracting 100 million visits by 2030. And really what we think Saudi, as one of the largest countries in the world and the most diverse culture and a home of ancient Arabia, has a lot to offer. And whether it is looking at Saudi as a winter sun destination, you have the beautiful Red Sea with all its marine treasures, coral reefs that is probably parallel to none. And then you have the great Arabian dunes. I think both are being looked at with a lens of reimagining what this could look like to address sustainable tourism and the passionate adventure and nature and culture travelers. So that's one. The second is summer escapes. When it's, I don't know if it's politically correct to say this, but when it's quite too hot in the region, there are very few destinations that can offer a summer escape. And the southern south of Saudi, the Arabian mountains, you know, we claim that it is the highest peak in the area. It offers you below 20 degrees in summer. And the north of Saudi, with the Red Sea, is a great summer escape as well. Then you have a year-long offering for the cultural curious, you know, authentic experience seekers. And with Al Ula that you mentioned, that is the magical home of ancient Arabia, and the new, modern, thriving cities, modern Arabia, with all its programming on events. You might have heard about the Riyadh season and these entertainment events. Now, we've been on pause for a year and a half, or probably more, and I can tell you that by end of this year, we're coming back, and we're going to do in a year what we missed in 2 years. So we're very bold on those, I would say. And on top of, you know, Saudi Arabia has always been the destination for the most profound journey for Muslims and on Hajj, but Umrah is where there is a great potential for growth.
When you think about this with regards to investment potential, what are we talking about? We're not just talking about hotels and theme parks. There are other avenues for investment from the private sector as well.
So when you talk about investment, I think there's a lot happening and a lot can say, you know, about their investment opportunities, but I can tell you probably three things. One, no one can say they're investing in tourism anywhere like we are. I don't think any could say that they're investing in projects of the scale that we're doing anywhere in the world. While the industry was really, you know, fighting for survival, our kitchen was hot. We announced 16 projects in 2020. Probably we're one of the very few that witnessed and registered a positive FDI. We've seen brands coming into Saudi, Hilton, Marriott, all signing in. So we're very bullish about investment, and we are creating arms from the government, like the Tourism Development Fund signed 16 projects and funded private sector. I told you about DMCs. When we started last year, we had 17 small DMCs. Today, I think we exceeded 93, and going, by the way, when I was listening to Afnan talking, I realized how female biased this panel is, at least the ones on stage. Both Majid and I are fathers of girls. So I'm a father of 2 girls and he's a father of 3 girls.